Back at it again, Cigar Spencer. You know what time it is. It's time for the third installment of the top 100 players of East Texas for 2024, numbers 80 through 71. From this, it's the fifth year. I said fourth year earlier because I can't count, but this is the fifth year of me doing this list. It's a big fun to be first team all district. Looked at over 582 guys in total to try to make this list. A bunch of highlight tapes, looked at them more than once, twice, 3 times over. But we got to this list, and here we are at this list. So let's not prolong this thing. At number 80, senior linebacker / fullback / H-back from Dangerfield, Bryson Lee. And Bryson Lee is violence. He is violence. The word football and violence go hand in hand with this guy. He has incredible hits on defense, and he has incredible blocks on offense where he just melees and drives people away. He is a big time hitter, a key cog in the middle of the defense for Dangerfield. Also a key cog at H-back for them, blocking on the split zone. He is a lead blocker. He's an ISO blocker. He's a seal blocker. He's everything that you need from. He's everything you need from the offensive side of the ball as far as a blocking H-back goes. He's also athletic, can catch it and run. But on defense, he brings that same energy, that same frenetic type of knock you out type of energy that he brings to that side of the ball as well. So a very strong showing from Bryson Lee this year, and he comes in here on the list at number 80. The senior linebacker from Dangerfield at number 79. None of those guys out there in Longview and Pine Tree, offensive lineman / defensive lineman that play both sides of the ball for the Pirates, is Prophet Haishaw. Big dude. He's coming, transferred in from the Dallas area, came into East Texas, lined up at Pine Tree, and he was a difference maker for those guys. That dude is huge. He is a monster on both sides of the ball. Quick feet, big hands, power in his hands. When he touches you, you go backwards. Finishes people to the ground defensively. Can hold a point of attack. Can dismiss an offensive lineman and make the tackle. So I was impressed by his tape, and a great addition for Pine Tree, and part of the reason why Pine Tree was as good as they were this year. We're going 10-2, I believe, this year. We're going 10-2 because they had dudes up front like Prophet Haishaw, the senior offensive lineman / defensive lineman, coming in here at number 79. And number 78, keeping it in the trenches, a junior offensive guard from Carthage, Jeremiah Jones. Jeremiah Jones is as sound as they come technique-wise. He's a big dude, strong, powerful in his hands, but his technique is on point, and that's one of the things that you notice a lot of times. He's got great leverage. He's got great posture in his pass protection. His shoulders are up. He's not leaning. In the run game, he's nasty. He gets after you. He's physical. He's looking to chip. He's looking to help his offensive lineman. You can really tell, I think Carthage or Longview had the best offensive line this year, and you can really tell when the way those guys help each other and communicate up front and how they pass off double teams. It's just a beauty to see. So excited to watch this one because he's a junior and he's got another year coming back, and it was a name that I really didn't know about. So it's always fun to see those guys that come up out of nowhere, especially when they're not on the preseason list or anything like that, to have a great season. So proud of Jeremiah Jones. He pops up here at number 78. Keeping it out there in Carthage, the junior wide receiver, Junior Henderson, Kenyon Henderson Jr., the junior wide receiver from Carthage. He was the number 1 target for Jesseret this year. He can put the ball out there, man, and he can go get it. He's 6'4". He can catch the ball on the top shelf where nobody else can. Yeah, he can make a run after the catch. Similar to some of these other guys on the list. That size, that speed. He looks to be like in that SMU. I can't even say SMU, that Power 5 now, but North Texas, Houston, that type of build of school where he looks like he could dominate. Reminds me a lot of T. Gurry, a guy that used to be at Carthage, maybe a decade ago. That's who he reminds me of. It was just long body receivers that can go get it for those Bulldogs. Number 1 receiver threat outside. He's got another year with Jesseret to come back, so it'll be interesting to see how he grows on the list and then where he comes in at this year at number 77. At number 76, senior tailback from Timpson, J.J. Garner. Big time fan of J.J. Garner, the human highlight reel, as he's been been dimed on Twitter by some of those people on the Twitter that follow him. He is amazing. He's amazing on that basketball course. The reason why they call him Island Real, he can do some amazing dunks at just 6 foot. But that same athleticism is why he's such a monster on the football field. Played some quarterback for him this year. Played a little quarterback last year until Bessie missed the beginning of the year. But he's a running back through and through. He's physical. They can't tackle him on that level. He barrels through everything and everybody. Timpson not as good as they were last year. Obviously, when you replace the best player in Timpson history and obviously one of the better players in East Texas history, and Terry Bussey is going to take a step back. But not his game. Not him. J.J. Garner is the truth, and he comes up here at number 76. At number 75, outside linebacker, senior from Pleasant Grove, Jalen Foster. Defensive end, outside linebacker, however you want to call it. He is a guy that is going to wreck shop amongst an offensive line. Tackles worst nightmare. He's physical and he's fast. He's a guy that can get to the ball. He knows how to dismiss you and get away from the ball. He's a guy that's trying to make plays just constantly and relentlessly coming after you. So he's a tough dude, man. He's not somebody that any offensive lineman really wants in front of him unless they're just that guy. He is a nuisance. He plays with constant effort. He was all over the tape against Carthage. That game I watched, he was one of those numbers that I wrote down that I thought was really special. So it's not a surprise to see him as a first-team all-district player. And then when you look at his highlight tape, the dude makes play after play after play. So big-time pick here. Love this kid on this list. And at number 75 is where it's getting better at this list. You start goes that typically people buy, but Edgewood is one of those schools that had a tremendous year, and they had some tremendous players this year. And Jathan Johnson is one of those tremendous guys that they had. He pops up on the number 74. He's fast as they come. He makes great catches, and he's paired up with an awesome quarterback down there. So when you got the guy that can sling it, and you're a guy that can play and you can receive it, it's one of those special marriages and special relationships that you got on the football field that you can ride for a little bit. And both those guys are underclassmen and coming back. Jonathan, great speed, great moves, great hands, great ability on the defensive side ball as well. Comes back next year. He's just here at number 74, but who knows what will happen in the next year. At number 73, junior defensive back from Mount Pleasant. It is DeCorian Thompson. His brother, I believe, went to Utah last year, and this dude can flat out play too. And the crazy thing about it is, I don't know what his better position is. His brother's a corner. He says he's a corner, but when you see him on the offensive side of the ball, man, you are talking about a ball player. He's a guy that can catch it. He can run with it afterwards. He's competitive. He's gonna go up and catch it at the highest. Like if it's me and you, he believes in him every single time. And so he's really good in the one-on-one situation. Now Pleasant, of course, they took some steps back this year. Mason McMahon, the quarterback, left. Not saying that the other guy wasn't good, but they did take a step down in that position a little bit. They lost a lot off of last year's team, but I thought last year's defense was incredible for Mount Pleasant. So they did take a step back just a little bit, but not DeCorian Thompson. He's stepped up to be that guy, really kind of replacing his brother's role and being that wide receiver one and cornerback one for them over there in Mount Pleasant. At number 72, defensive tackle, the guy that's been close to making that list for the last 3 years. This year, it's nobody's on the list. It is the senior defensive tackle from Carthage. It's James Morrow. Just an absolute block eater up front. There's a real reason why people couldn't beat Carthage, and it was because of that defensive line. Between Allison, between Morrow, between Hodges, and then when you got the linebackers that they got behind them, it just makes no sense for that team to be that good on that level and have those players, but man, they do it. And that's why they win those rings, man. Those guys up front, they just handle things. They're so big, they're so massive. Him and Allison, Morrow and Allison both look like offensive linemen. Like they both look like big, huge, nasty guards on the next level, and I wouldn't bypass them playing that position. I think it's a good move if they decided to do that. But when they're that big and that physical on that level of football, it's just unfair, and that's what you saw kind of week in and week out with that defensive line, mauling the other team's offensive line, allowing those linebackers to make every single tackle if they wanted to. James Morrow is one of those big bodies playing the nose guard, eating up double teams every play. It's just not fair. It's just really fun to watch him destroy, and he pops up over here on the list at number 72. And for the last of this list, at number 71, a guy that's flirted with the list for the last 2 years, been graded out as an A every year. He's been 90 sophomore year, 91 as a junior, just barely missed a cut. This year he's graded out at a 93. And Markeelan Batten, the Arkansas signee, showing here on the list, the running back / cornerback, and what a year he had. Over almost 1,000 yards rushing, 20 touchdowns total. He's got like 943 yards in the ground, over 600 through the air with another 6 touchdowns. 14 plus 6 equals 20. Yeah, 20 touchdowns for the guy. He is one of the fastest people on this list, fastest people in the nation. When he gets the ball and he gets the lane, it's a wrap. Tall runner. Don't know what position he'll play next year. He's so good with the ball in his hands, it's hard to move him off that side of the ball. But at that ideal cornerback size, at 6'1", 185, 190 pounds, with that kind of speed and athleticism, it's hard to not envision him playing SEC corner as well. So, but yeah, definitely a dangerous return guy, and he'll make his mark on the next level somewhere. But in these Texas, he's made his mark over the last 3 years as a varsity player, and he finally makes the list of senior year, coming in here at number 71, Markeelan Batten.